Absolutely. I mean, it really is amazing what can happen when people really come together and work together in an emergency. A local community hospital discovered a problem with the refrigerator holding 1,650 Moderna doses of the vaccine. Here's the timeline of what happened next. As soon as that discovery was made, that community hospital started calling. They called the UW and they called Swedish Hospital by 8:50 p.m. At 9:30, Swedish COO Kevin Brooks tells us they had a plan. At 10 o'clock, they were organizing that plan and a space at Seattle University. At 11 o'clock, they opened the doors, all doses given out by 3:30 this morning. By the time that the clinic opened, the line of people who got an appointment eager to get one of those doses stretched across the Seattle University campus. They heard about the clinic from friends, family, and right here on KOMO News during our live 11 o'clock broadcast last night. Those who got appointments tell us they went quickly and smoothly. Volunteers every step of the way directing them exactly where they needed to go next. Brooks tells us they had so many of their staff from Swedish volunteer for this emergency clinic, they had to turn some of them away.
So I put up the back call, and we arrived within, like I said, within an hour and a half. And we just have a lot of people who care a lot about and very passionate about making sure the community gets vaccinated.
It was like breaking news. They just hit it. I jumped on the phone, found it on Twitter.
Social media to the rescue. That tweet from Swedish Hospital directed people to their website to make appointments. Our camera captured people in this clinic taking selfies of their shots going in, likely had it next to their social media accounts. In all, 800 people moved through this clinic set up by Swedish Hospital. Another 800 doses administered by the UW at 2 of its clinics overnight as well. And back to the source of these doses, all we've been told right now is that it was a local community hospital that Swedish partners with. What I have not been able to find out yet is where those doses were intended to go. Are there people who had appointments expecting to get one of those doses today? I'm still trying to get those answers for you, but at least for right now, we know that not any, as far as we know, any of those 1,650 doses were wasted. They all went into people eager and eligible to get the vaccine.
More QFC grocery store pharmacies are now offering COVID shots to eligible Washington residents. Starting today, 28 locations are now helping out in the effort. KOMO's Suzanne Fon joins us live with that part of the story. Suzanne?
Well, last week there were 4 QFC locations. This week there are 7 times as many. And at each location, pharmacists are administering 100 doses.
It was so rewarding. There were tears in people's eyes.
Many pharmacists giving the COVID-19 vaccine are experiencing and encountering all sorts of emotions. Marcy Reynolds, a QFC pharmacy practice coordinator, gave out the very first vaccine for QFC stores last Wednesday.
I'm smiling because that was going to be the very first vial that of Moderna that we administered to our patients.
Since then, the number of QFC locations offering vaccines has multiplied, and now there are a total of 28 locations. This week, a total of 3,000 doses. That number is expected to grow with each passing week.
To see just the tears in people's eyes. They want to hug you, but you can't hug because you have to socially distance.
They are heroes.
Pharmacists are a big part of the response during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think back to when they were doing drive-through COVID testing, and then they started doing the antibody testing, and then they're doing all the regular things, right? Filling our prescriptions and doing flu shots. And then right now they are inundated with giving these vaccines.
A QFC spokeswoman stresses that these vaccinations are only available to eligible Washingtonians who make an appointment online. They must register on the QFC or Fred Meyer website or using the phone app. You cannot get one on the spot if you just stop by or call.
We are excited to get people vaccinated, but please don't call our pharmacies. Don't just show up unless you have an appointment. Our pharmacies and our pharmacists are so busy making sure that they are getting people vaccinated.
The number of COVID-related deaths at Hillhaven Nursing Home in Penfield, one of several that raised concerns. All over the state, loved ones and advocates sounded the alarm, and the state attorney general's closer look began. It found the number of deaths at more than 60 public and private nursing homes was much higher than what was reported.
It had to be higher if you were looking at the number of vacancies in the nursing homes. Like, where did those people, where did they go? They didn't all go home.
The report found that COVID nursing home deaths were only counted when an individual died inside the facility, meaning if a nursing home resident died after being transferred to a hospital, they weren't included in the state's total of nursing home deaths. It has led to a bipartisan call for a more in-depth investigation.
That's not a missed data point. That's not an error. That is a deliberate attempt to mislead the population, the people of New York State.
The fault is with the Department of Health and with the nursing homes. And, they owe a complete explanation to the families of these loved ones.
The state health commissioner is pushing back on the AG's report, saying it has constantly and accurately reported nursing home deaths. All the more reason, one lawmaker says, an investigation is needed.
The most important thing is to recognize that there was a failure, and we're talking about people's lives, and we're talking about people's families, and we must do better.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.